In this video, we're going to get into software security. I have a few questions for you, class. Do you have a pen and paper ready? Alright, let's get into them. The first question is, how do you know what you should be looking for in a security software? The second question is, how do you know what one is secure, as in what software is secure and which one works best? And then the last question, how do you know you aren't getting scammed when you're purchasing the security software? Well, I would say the easiest way to figure out all of these is to do a quick internet search. Some things you also may want to consider when choosing your antivirus software is, how old is your computer? If you have an older computer or device, it may not be able to run the antivirus software correctly and may bog down or slow down your system. Check the antivirus for its system recommendations. This is something that kind of ties in with the first point, but do you get agitated when your computer slows down because the antivirus software scans everything all of the time? Then you may want to consider choosing an antivirus that is less intrusive and has lighter features. Take in mind that if you go with this option, you're going to be trading safety for speed. But it may be a better alternative than finding out the speed at which your computer can fly into a dumpster. You should also select an antivirus software that also fits what you are looking for. When you're shopping around, for one, look at the top 5 and compare them to see what features you get and what you want out of them. Typically, they will have things like anti-phishing, anti-spyware, anti-ransomware components to them, as well as a software firewall. And ideally, parental controls. Not all of them have these, but some of the more premium ones do. Now, after you've picked out what you want as far as features, select a price point that will work best for your budget. Many antivirus programs have a subscription to keep everything up to date. You will want to consider this when you purchase, because if you don't pay, well, the protection will be cut off. Now, if you want a good free option, Windows 10 and 11 does have built-in program called Windows Defender, and it's pretty decent. Now, I know, a lot of people will not agree with me on this point, but once again, if you can't afford any antivirus or just don't want to pay a monthly subscription, then that option is great for you. And you should be well on your way to keeping yourself and your family in a good spot while being online. Now, let's look at some antivirus programs that are out on the market and who has the best controls. We're looking at Norton 360. Norton 360 has a firewall. Now, firewalls typically block dangerous incoming and outgoing internet traffic and helps prevent those DDoS and DOS attacks like we talked about earlier. Oftentimes, nowadays, the antivirus software does come with a password manager. This generates and stores your password. This is obviously great because nowadays you have about 100 passwords for everything you do. Just know that if you use a password manager, that your password is stored within that password manager. And if that password manager is compromised, well, so is your passwords. All right. PC Safe Cam. Now, Norton does have this option, which is kind of nice. If you're creeped out with webcams looking at you or on your laptop on the front edge of it, and if you're worried about the actual cameras being used, then this is a helpful little tool that makes sure that no one can really access your PC's webcam. You see this feature more and more happening with the latest antiviruses with dark web monitoring. Now this one I feel like is a little bit gimmicky, same with the PC webcam thing, it's a little gimmicky. In my opinion, I'm not sure where they get their database from, but if they are throwing this in for free, I would take it. But basically, if you're using their password manager, then your password shouldn't be on the dark web anyways, but they claim to notify you the moment that your private data ends up on the dark web. And this also allows you some cloud backup space. Now, for those of you that don't know what cloud backup is, we do go into that a little bit more about how to secure your data, but having this option is really great. You can store kind of like your files and stuff like that on their servers out there in the world, and up to 50 gigs for Nortons. So this is like pictures and other documents that you can retrieve later. So if your device for some reason crashes or you need to buy another one, then you can retrieve these with your account from the cloud backup. So it's really nice. Now, Norton's does come with a VPN, which is a virtual private network. Now, as far as VPNs go, for specifically your home user that is trying to get, some geographically locked content from, say, like Netflix or Hulu, this could be a good solution for you. But if you're a programmer or a penetration tester, then look elsewhere for a VPN. For a home user, this will typically work fine. Now, what the heck is a VPN? Now, VPN stands for, as I said earlier, a virtual private network. And VPNs can mask your data so that it's harder for unethical hackers or other people to see what you're searching for online. This can be a good security tool to use. Just note that your ISP or internet service provider will know that you're using a VPN, but they may not be able to see the content that you're searching for. Not all VPNs are created equally though, so you'll want to do your research on finding one that you can just use compared to one that just comes with an antivirus software. Now, most VPNs you will have to pay a subscription to use, and so having that built into an antivirus can be a good thing for your basic home user. Parental controls. Now, this allows you to see what videos your children are watching online, what websites they're visiting, and what keywords they're using when browsing, and even on their mobile device, what apps they're downloading. This can even track their GPS location, and it has a really great array of tools to make sure your children stay safe online, and they aren't getting into anything that they shouldn't be getting into without you knowing. Now, the only downside here is with all this extra protection, typically you will be giving up something. Now, this could be in the form of, slowing down your computer or your device quite a bit, but also you have to give up your security and the fact that Norton can now look at where your GPS is. So that may not be a good thing for you if you are more safety conscious. Now, I've also had issues where it blocked some downloads and stated that they were unsafe as well. So this is kind of a mixed bag here. This is really the downside to using, honestly, any type of antivirus software that isn't really a knock on Norton's per se, but it's just they may label something as threatening because maybe their online certificates are not updated. So just know that. Now, switching gears to another type of antivirus software is called Bitdefender. Now, Bitdefender is honestly among the top, if not the top, antivirus software you can buy, not only as a parent, but also as a basic home user. Now, Bitdefender has everything that I mentioned Norton has, and the parental controls are super easy to use and accessible for the less technical customers that I have serviced. Another point in Bitdefender's corner is the fact that they are cheaper than most of their competitors. Now, this really matters when your budget is tight, or if you're just a more frugal person. In addition, Bitdefender is more lightweight on your PC or other devices and consumes less resources than many other antivirus software in the same category would consume. This is helpful when installing it on mobile devices that have limited power, although mobile is getting up there. Now, I would recommend both Norton's and Bitdefender, especially for parents. Both antivirus software companies often run deals on their first year of their services, so this should be at least kind of like allow you to affordably defend yourself against malware for a year if you chose to go with a paid option. Now remember, there is Windows 10 and 11, the free antivirus software on them. Now, if you're looking for an antivirus software, what I would consider first, you may want to spend some time looking around your place of residence and look for devices you have, so you know what you should be buying your antivirus software for. Also note that you do not want to have more than one antivirus running at the same time. They can often interfere with each other and actually cause vulnerabilities and unneeded device slowdowns. So remember, only use one at a time. Now, I know there was a lot of information here, so go back and take notes. Then go and teach somebody else what you just learned. It'll help you learn it better too. Plus, you'll be helping them keep themselves safe with your knowledge. And, you do that, and boom, you're going to be more secure than most people in town. And even Dr. Evil will have a harder time getting to your data. That's it for this class, and I'll see you in the next one.